Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And I'm not saying that I'm Abraham Lincoln, but I am saying nobody's seen me and Abraham Lincoln in the same room together. Just letting you know. But we just did a 5-hour and 43-minute live stream not that long ago. And the 20-sided die, and if you haven't checked the live streams out, I'd love it if you dropped in on one. But the 20-sided die had 4 knives to pick from, and it picked out this. The SOG Terminus XR. And I've made my complaints about this thing pretty vocal a couple of times now. This is a knife that I really, really wanted to like, and I don't. You got a pocket clip, this tip up, which is the Lord's Carry, that's also a complete piece of garbage. I love the action on this thing, even though a lot of guys don't. It is what it is. It's got an axis lock with a weird stop on it. When you get the timing right, it feels great, but, it is what it is. And SOG's customer service also let me down pretty bad. So you can order the Terminus XR LTE pocket clip and fix this issue. So last April I called and I was like, hey, I'd like a Terminus XR LTE pocket clip or two, and I paid for the shipping. And they didn't give me an order number, but they said it was on back order and it'd be a little while. So I believe it was November rolled around, and I called them back because I didn't have it yet. They didn't have an order number for me. They had to track the payment that I made down on it, and I was like very clear. I do not want the one with the SOG cutout on it. I want the LTE pocket clip, and they sent 2 more of these garbage pocket clips. So that's a pretty big strike against it, but we did Cardboard Slayer with it, and that's you know what? I'm gonna say it. Let's flick the bean. So we did Cardboard Slayer with it. And problems ahoy. So right out the gate, on the edge from the factory, it wasn't cutting worth a crap. Going through the cardboard, it was struggling so hard. And I'm going to give you an example here. So this is what we got on some thin poster board from the outside of a PS5 box on that factory edge and that factory grind. So we stopped after about 2 hours into the live stream, maybe a little bit earlier, and I broke out the Work Sharp Precision Adjust, and all hail that thing, good God. And I reprofiled the whole edge from the ground up to 18 degrees. And the Work Sharp Precision Adjust, dear God, it did a good job on that, and it looks like it's a factory edge. But I had to reprofile it down to 18 degrees. And then it started cutting at the edge pretty good. It still pushed through it like I was cutting with a wedge, which was a little confusing. Like, the hollow grind isn't super deep. It had good contact. And this is some fairly thin blade stock. It struggled to make those cuts. I had to push extra hard. But once it was at 18 degrees, it did all right. I don't know how they borked up the grind on the edge bevel so badly, but I got it cleaned up and I got it working pretty smoothly. It shouldn't have had to have that happen to cut right. So we did that, and we pushed through another 3 hours after we did the reprofiling, and this is Cryo D2. And it held up as well as the D2 on the Gin Captain knife did. Like, there was not too much edge wear after 3 more hours of pushing through cardboard. And this got fed tougher cardboard than we've been doing, because I started running out of the easy-to-cut cardboard, and we were in the difficult stuff for most of the night. Now, I will say one thing to its credit. The ergos on this, with the grip that I have to use to do these live streams, was significantly better than everything else. So going through here, this was actually a lot more comfortable to push with than everything else has been so far. The callus that I'm developing right here from riding in these grooves wasn't really being impacted. Now, I wore the hander pants for a good part of the stream, and the seam on the hander pants right here was putting pressure on this and causing irritation, so I'm like, yeah, the ergos are as good as everything else. Once I took them off, though, that stopped hurting. The ergos were actually really good. But it's just the fact that that edge was so bad. Like, I wanted to like this, and I was like, maybe the pocket clip would fix this, but no, like, this edge was just pure garbage. Like, every single cut that I took for 2 hours was like this, and it took a lot of force and a lot of leaning into it to get there. I mean, I just cannot believe how badly that did cutting anything. Like, thicker, heavier cardboard, forget about it. It just wasn't having none of it. So, like, I'm profoundly disappointed with this thing, and I'm profoundly disappointed with just SOG in general on this knife. I've got the SOG Flash AT. I like that one quite a bit. This one, however, I don't know how they got so many things wrong in one go. Like, this is a... It's not quite as disappointing as the the Walmart Axis Lock knife from the Christmas season that had to be taken apart and have the channel that the Axis Lock rides in ground out to start working okay. But that was a $5 knife. Like, you can kind of start forgiving that. This, I think, was like 55 or 60 bucks. And I got it because Axis Lock, flipper tab, it looked good. SOG was a name that I felt was trustworthy because they had a good reputation. And other knives they make might be a lot better than this. I know the Flash AT is, but yeah, this one they really messed up on. Now, after that 3-hour session that it got after it got the new edge on it, we're going to go in and do some paper cuts. I stropped it. I did strop it quite heavily. But, you know, with the 18-degree grind on it and the strop and the love that it got, it is very, very, very sharp now. And just like the AR RPM 9, and let's take a look. Yeah, so with the 8 CR13s and the CR series steels that we did, they pick up a ton of hairline scratches all through here from where they're being forced through cardboard. The Gin picked up a very few of those scratches, nothing too major, and this picked up pretty much nothing. Same thing with the AR RPM 9. They did not pick up any scratches from the cardboard. So it did good in that department. It seems like the HRC is pretty good. It seems like the heat treatment's good, but it's just, man, that grind. The angle on that edge bevel, what were they thinking? Like, what was the intended use for this? Like, little tiny hatchet? I don't know. But... you know, that was the longest live stream we've done, too. And it probably wouldn't have gone that long, but we had to stop and spend as much time as it took on the Worksharp Precision Adjust to get the whole thing reprofiled through here. And again, if you don't have one of those, you need to get it. You know, 30 minutes of hand work on a fixed angle got me a whole brand new edge from the ground up. Nice and shiny. I'm not as proficient with that thing as I'd like to be yet, so it's not a perfect mirror. There's still some scratches in there, but like you saw, that new grind and the strop, you know, created that kind of sharpness, you know. So that's more indicative of the quality of the strop and the precision adjust, rather than anything SOG did outside of the heat treatment on the D2. But I like showing it off. So, yeah, I mean, if you've had your eye on one of these, I would totally skip it. Like, I cannot, in good conscience, recommend this for anybody. And it's just, if they had a good grind out of the factory and a good pocket clip, then I could give this some pretty high marks. You know, I know a lot of guys hate the action on this thing. I happen to really like the Axis Lock and how it feels when you get your timing right. But that's just me. You know, outside of that, there aren't enough redeeming qualities on this thing to actually recommend going out and buying one or ordering one. So definitely skip this one. This is just getting tossed in the box and probably never getting used again unless I find another reason. Maybe a different variety of edge retention test. I don't know. But I wanted to share what that experience was, and this was a unique experience. Like, we've done a large handful of these streams. This was a unique experience. I honestly am still blown away by how messed up the angle on that edge bevel was. But, you know, for all you guys that were there for pretty much the whole live stream, thank you so much. I am deeply appreciative that you guys spent that much time with me. We had a lot of fun with that, and we definitely got into a lot of random topics. If you haven't dropped by a live stream, check one out. You know, hang out for a few minutes, see if you like the vibe. But all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. There's more of you coming in all the time, and we're getting closer and closer to that 1K giveaway. Like I've said at the end of the last few videos, I've got one of my all-time favorite budget bangers just waiting to go, and we got a couple of Gin G10 knife kits so that if you got kids or you got someone that wants to learn how to put a knife together and what makes them work, great options for that. But yeah, there's that. Comments, I love some feedback. If you got one of these, let me know why you hate it. Best way I can put it. But all that being said, y'all have a nice day.